Hey, it's Mr. Songer with you, and this is the lesson on expanded range for your instruments. And this video is for all the band instruments, pretty much. And so what I want to tell you is which part of the video that you should watch, depending on your instrument. And for each instrument, you need to watch a 3-minute portion of this video. You do not need to watch the whole thing, because this is going to go through all the instruments. So if you play the flute, jump to the 1-minute mark. If you play clarinet, the 4-minute mark. Saxophone, the 7-minute mark. If you play trumpet, you should go to the 10-minute mark. If you play low brass, go to the 13-minute mark. And for percussion, we're actually going to work on rolls a little bit in this video, and so you should jump to the 16-minute mark in the video. And then, like I said, watch for 3 minutes, and that will be working on expanded range for your instrument. And you should all use your accent and achievement book and open up, unless you're a percussionist, to page 46 or 47. So jump to your minute mark. Flutes, on page 46 and 47, we're going to focus on some of the notes you haven't learned, starting with your low range. On page 46, that first line that you have has your really low notes. We're going to go all the way to the end of that first line and play E natural, which is fingered like your regular E natural, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Plus your thumb and your pinky. And you'll notice I'm blowing very slowly. You have to blow kind of slower, or you're going to jump up the octave, and sometimes you have to direct the air a little bit more into your flute to produce that lower sound. So let's try that E again. E flat is just like your regular E flat, but you're going to have your first finger down too. So you're going to have every finger down except this left pinky. And then for D, same thing, but pick up your right pinky. C sharp is this little key right here, okay, this one, plus everything you just had down for D. And then low C, you're going to add this skinny roller key there too, so it's both of these, although that roller key presses down both of them. And one thing you can do if you're struggling with those really low notes is start like on a G and just add one finger at a time. See if you can watch this here. And slur it. Don't tongue each one. I actually tongued that last one, but that will help. Let's look at the higher notes. I'm going to start with the high B flat on page 47 on the second line from the bottom. And then to go to B, you pick up your first finger on your right hand. C, first finger and your pinky. High C sharp is just your pinky. High D is fingered like regular D, but on your right hand, pick up 1, 2, and 3 and put down your pinky instead. And blow like the wind, as I say. Those high notes, you got to use a lot of air. High E flat, everything. Yeah, everything. Both pinkies, too. That's your high E flat. High E is like regular E, but, so finger your regular E, but pick up your third finger. So it's 1 and 2 on both hands, plus your thumb and pinky. And then high F is like regular F, but no second finger. And there you go. And you got to use lots of air, lots of air. That's the key for those. So there you go, flutes. Work on those. Clarinets. You've skipped to the right spot. Clarinets, we're going to look at page 46 and 47, and learn some of these lower and higher notes. Now, the lower notes, you know most of these. Your low G, let's start with your low G, which is on that first line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The note before that is F sharp. There's two different ways you can do F sharp. You can use this key right here. And notice I still have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down. Or on your left hand, this one right here. Okay? So either way, let's try it. Again, either way, left pinky or right pinky. Okay. Low F, I believe you've learned before. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this bottom pinky right here. And then low E, same thing, but we're going to add this one right here on your left pinky. And those are your low notes. Let's talk about the high notes. I'm going to start with, on page 47, the high C, which is the second line down. For all these high notes, you're going to use your register key plus your thumb key, so you got to get both of these down, okay? Both the regular thumb key and your register key, okay? And then high C is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this key, it's the same as the low F, but you have the register key down now. In fact, if you struggle with those high notes, started without the register key down, and then slur up to it and see if you can get it that way. Lots of air, very firm embouchure. Make sure that these muscles are very strong and firm, and you're blowing that air out really at a high pace. High C sharp, we're going to go to this one. And again, like the low F sharp, you could also use this one. I tend to use this one at least to start out with. And then from here, I'm just going to focus in on the natural notes. Okay, we're not going to do the flats and sharps in this video. It takes us up to high D, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to go up one finger at a time. So for E, lift up the third finger. So you just have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. F, 1, 2, 3, 1. G, 1, 2, 3. A, 1 and 2. B, 1. And C, just your thumb and register key. And there's your high notes all the way up to C. The other battle with that is learning where they are on the staff and lining up your fingerings with where they are on the staff. So work on that, clarinets. Saxophones, you have skipped to the right spot, and hopefully you're on page 46 and 47 in your Accent on Achievement book. We're going to start by working on some low notes today. So look at page 46, and I'm going to start you on the low E, which is on the bottom line there of page 46. And it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's play that together. Oh, sorry, my reed is not ready. And to get those low notes, you have to kind of drop your jaw like you're saying the letter O. Get that jaw down and give you plenty of room inside your mouth for that sound to resonate. From low E, we're going to add E flat, which is 1, 2, 3 in the top pinky here with your right hand. And then D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, the last four low notes here, you're going to have this bottom pinky down for all of them, and we're just going to change what we're doing with this pinky. For C sharp, we're going to do what I call the outside middle key here, this one right here. For C, this pinky does nothing, but you still have this one down. Low B, it's what I call the inside middle key over here. And remember, this one's still down too. Sorry, I have a hard time getting these to come out too, especially right away. And then the lowest one, B flat, is the bottom pinky on both hands. And those are your low notes on the saxophone. And this applies to tenor and bari too, by the way. Let's go to your high notes. Let's start on the high A, second to last line there on page 47, the last note. High A is 1 and 2. Okay, and then B flat, of course you have these different options. Some of you do it 1 and 2 in the side key. Some of you do it with your first finger on both hands. Some of you do it with 1 and the little key below 1 right there. Okay, so here's B flat. High B is just first finger, and these are all octave keys too. High C, second finger. High C sharp, just thumb. And high D, you have these 3 palm keys over here. It's this one right here. It's the one that's closest to your thumb, okay? Or it's the one that's, as far as height goes, it's the one in the middle. It's not the highest one, it's not the lowest one, it's the one in the middle. And you get that with the side of your finger like this. And there's your high D. So there you go, saxophones. There's your low and high notes. Trumpets, you have reached the right point in the video. Hopefully you have opened up, or you are opening up to page 46 and 47 in your Accent and Achievement book to your fingering chart. And we're going to work on some low and high notes. Let's start with your low notes. And we'll start you off with a good old open low C. And your C is that second note on the bottom line there, okay? The note right before that is B, second valve. Let's do that one. And then going up a line there to B flat, first valve. Now as we continue to get lower, you have to kind of drop your jaw like you're saying the letter O. Give that sound a lot of room to resonate inside your mouth. And that will help those low notes come out better with a bigger sound. Let's go to A, which is 1 and 2. Then A flat, 2 and 3. G, 1 and 3, and pull out that little third valve slide a little bit. If you haven't learned how to do that, when you do notes that are 1 and 3 and 1, 2, and 3, you should pull this out about an inch or so. And then your lowest note, F sharp. Sometimes those are hard to hit just out of the clear blue, so sometimes what I'll do is start on C and slur down. And they're a little bit easier to get, and then I'll try tonguing them. The other thing I want you to notice about the pattern of fingerings is it's the same pattern as if I started over on page 47 on the top line with G and went down one note at a time. Okay, so sometimes that's a way that I'll memorize the fingering pattern. Let's go to your high notes. Now, the highest note on the trumpet is what we call unlimited. So the high G there isn't the highest note, but it's the highest note you're going to need to learn in 6th grade. And really, throughout middle school, you're hardly going to see anything higher than that. Maybe in a hard 8th grade band piece or in jazz band, if you're playing maybe first trumpet, you'll get higher than that, but not very likely. Let's start on your high C, which is on the second line down there. Okay. Now, as you get higher, lots of air. Air is the key here. You got to have a lot of air. Also, you know, your embouchure kind of comes closer together. I like to compare it to like if you have a straw, you're holding a straw in your mouth. Well, kind of like that kind of embouchure. Okay. In fact, even if you got a straw, put it in your mouth to kind of get the feeling of that. Here's C sharp, 1 and 2. D is 1. E flat is 2. E is open. F is 1. F sharp is 2. And G is open. There we go. So there you go. Those are your high and low notes on the trumpet. Trombones, baritone, tuba. This is your portion of the video as I do a close-up shot. You guys are opening up to page 46 and 47 in your Accent and Achievement book. I have a trombone here, but this will apply to baritone and tuba as well. We're going to start with your low notes on page 46, starting with the low B flat, which is first position or open. Feel free to play these with me. A is second position, second valve. A flat is third position, first valve. As you get lower, kind of drop that jaw like you're saying the letter O. O. Low G, fourth position, 1 and 2. G flat is fifth position, 2 and 3. F is sixth position, 1 and 3. And E is seventh position, or 1, 2, and 3. And so those are your low notes. Now, as far as the high notes go, your book goes up to a high F, but the range of a low brass instrument is unlimited. It's as high as you can get. It depends on how much you practice. But we're just going to go up to that high F because very rarely will you go higher than that unless you're playing a really hard 8th grade band piece or a really hard first trombone song in jazz band. So let's start on the high B flat, which is on the second line there on page 47, first position or open. B is fourth position, 1 and 2. C is third position or first valve. Now as you get higher, you got to use a lot of air. That's the key. But you also have to kind of mess with your embouchure a little bit in the sense that I like to compare it to like putting a straw in your mouth. Okay? Your embouchure kind of does that. These muscles firm up a little bit. They don't go back, but it's like, with a straw. It's like you're getting ready to suck your whatever you're drinking into your straw. But you're not, taking air in. You're blowing it out like that. Like that. So let's try the next note, D flat, second position, second valve. D is first position or open. Okay, lots of air here for E flat, third position, first valve. E, second position or second valve. And F, first position, open. And like I said, the high notes are unlimited, so the more you practice, the higher you can get. Okay, so there you go, low brass. Work on those, learn those positions and fingerings. Percussion, you have found the right place. 16-minute mark, and we're going to do some rolls. In your accent and achievement book, I want you to open up to page 27, and you'll see at the top of the page in the yellow box the 9-stroke roll. The 9-stroke roll is like doing 4 16th notes and then another note after. For our practical purposes here today, we'll just say it's a quarter note, and that's what it has in the yellow box. So it's just like going, and you can start with your right hand like it says there and go right, left, right, left, right. If you want to start with your left hand, we're alternating left, right, left, right, left. Okay? So let's do a couple of those in a row. Just that rhythm, not rolling yet. Just da, 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 da. Ready, and go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is also in the yellow box there, you see the quarter note with a roll, and then again a quarter note after it. Okay, the reason that we did the 4 16th notes is because when you have a quarter note with a roll, you do the 4 16th notes with your sticking pattern. That's what you do. You don't just roll for a beat and just randomly bounce your sticks back and forth. You have a systemized pattern that you use. And in this case, it's 4 16th notes. So you're going to do that exact same rhythm, but you're going to bounce on those 4 16th notes. So it's going to be bounce, 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 and then no bounce. And now I'm playing on a desk here, which is a little harder than the snare drum, but I think you get the idea. So now we're going to do that same pattern, but we're going to bounce on the 16th note. And we're just going to do it over and over again. Okay, ready? And go. Okay, you get the idea? All right, so whenever you have a quarter note, you always, I shouldn't say always, almost always would use that pattern, the 4 16th notes and the quarter note after it, okay? Now we call that a 9-stroke roll because your sticks, if they are bouncing exactly once on all those 4 16th notes, are hitting the drum 9 times. On the 4 16th notes, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you have the one note after it, 9, okay? So it's a 9-stroke roll, okay? So whenever you have a quarter note, I want you to think that. So now look at number 108. We're going to practice that, and every time you have a quarter note roll, you're going to go right, left, right, left, right, or left, right, left, right, left, and bounce on those first 4, okay? So let's try it. Here's 108. Ready? And go. Okay, that's the idea of a 9-stroke roll. Okay, so make sure whenever you have a quarter note roll, just don't as fast as you can. Make sure you're doing the 4 16th notes, and it'll sound a lot better.